My name is Sally Atkins, and I'm a senior staff accountant here at RIT. I work for the department called Sponsored Program Accounting, and I focus primarily on the financial management for a variety of grants and externally funded projects. My area of expertise is NTID and their grants, and I've been here for 1 year. My education begins at the Central Institute for the Deaf in St. Louis. I was there through about 6th grade. From there, in 7th grade, I went to a mainstream public school near my home. But for the first time, I had an interpreter in class when I was a freshman in high school. And I learned a lot of sign language through the interpreter, as well as hanging out with deaf people. So that's really when I learned to sign. What's interesting to me is, in the 7th and 8th grade, when I had no interpreter, I got straight A's in all of my classes. Yet I had no interpreter in the class. I just managed to get by and do my best to understand the teacher in class. But what I remember most of all was meeting with the teacher after class, asking questions, clarifying the homework, and studying. I studied every night and on the weekends until I was able to do my homework. I have a variety of experiences, beginning with my college education. I obtained my bachelor's degree in accounting and then my master's degree in human resources. In addition to that, I have my CPA studies. But really, I didn't take my CPA exam until probably 12 years after graduation from college. And I'm glad I didn't take my CPA exam right away, because that allowed me to get a variety of work experiences in many different venues until I was ready to really study and take my CPA exam. And when I did, after that many years, it was a wonderful review for me. It takes lots of time and commitment and discipline to study for a CPA exam, but I was able to pass it after 1.5 years of study. After graduating from college, I worked for a small company that made shoelaces, and they made a variety of shoe-related products. I was with that company for 1 year, and again, they were a very small company. But from there, I was able to move into a position with a very large law firm in Minnesota. I worked with 40 other people in the accounting department there, and so that was a wonderful work experience. Because I had a variety of accounting professionals that I worked with, I was able to ask them questions, garner advice from them, and really work with and take advantage of their expertise. And I was there for 8 years. And from there, I made a move to South Dakota, and I worked for the local zoo. That was a big change, because I went from a large department of 40 people to a department of 1, running all of the financial management at the zoo. And I had to depend greatly on external sources for advice, for information, and that was a big change for me. So I've had a wonderful variety of experiences working with many different types of accounting professionals in large departments and in a department of just myself. I've been in a variety of work environments. I've had an opportunity to see each of their individual and unique software programs for accounting. And that's afforded me the opportunity to keep up with each and every one of those unique programs. Each time I got a new job, I'm learning a new program. And so it allows me to continue to learn. Another program I'm working with continually is Excel. I'm still learning Excel. It has so many features, additional features and new features, shortcuts to learn. And so that's a continual process for me to become more skilled using spreadsheets in the Excel program. Because in my job, documentation is key, always with the goal of audit purposes in mind. At any point in time, I can have an audit on the accounting materials with which I work, and I need to be ready to give accurate documentation at auditors at any time. And in order to be ready, I need to be organized. As an institution, we need to make sure that we strictly adhere to our policies and procedures, and that we're in compliance with things as they change in the field as a whole. When I was working for the local zoo, there were several major changes taking place at the same time. The person who I was replacing had been gone for 3 months prior to my arrival, and so that meant the accounting procedures were 3 months behind, and I had to work diligently to catch everything up and enter all of the data into the system that they had. Another change that was taking place simultaneously was that the management at the zoo wanted to implement a new software program. And so it was my job to take all of the accounting data from the old program and enter it into the new program. They were using QuickBooks for their new program, and so I had to learn a lot about that whole software process as well as merge the data. And the third major change that was happening at the same time that I needed to prepare all of the information for an audit of the previous year's accounting procedures. But I wasn't familiar with the financial operations of the previous year. So I had to gather the information and get everything in order, reconcile all of the accounts, and prepare it for the external auditors. In addition, I had to work with the external auditors through that whole process. So all of these changes were happening at the same time, and to get me through it, I worked with a wonderful mentor. This woman was from the outside. She didn't work at the zoo. She was a CPA, and she gave me wonderful expert advice on all of the information, inputting it properly into the accounting systems that we were using. And she just really believed in my abilities to get everything done. She would say over and over again how much she believed in me, and that very bit of advice boosted my self-esteem in ways you can't imagine. I really believe that she helped me not only get through that experience, but positively influenced my career. She was the one who made me believe that I could study and pass my CPA exam, and I did just that. I passed it. So she was a wonderful positive experience for me. To be able to have a mentorship experience and be supported through the process of all of the changes that took place at the zoo was probably the most positive experience I've had in my career. My advice for soon-to-be graduating students would be to encourage them to take the time and be patient, to experience everything that their journey has to offer them as they work toward their career. It's important that they find their right path and find passion in the work that they choose. I really enjoy my career, but I think many times students are too quick to want to go back to school. And I would caution them to be really sure of themselves and make sure that this is the right major for what they want to do. Give it the thought and consideration that it deserves. Take the time to have a variety of work experiences and really plan what your vision is for your future. Because if I were to advise them to be patient and take the time to enjoy the journey, then it will lead them to their passion.